2024 begins with a bang. We have Mercury stationing direct on the 1st of January, so things can start really moving more forward for us in more clarity, as Jupiter also just stationed direct on the 30th of December. And then on the 20th of January, we have a very, very big day, as that day Mercury goes out of shadow and the Sun and Pluto conjunct and ingress into Aquarius, which officially marks, to me, the age of Aquarius that we are moving into. And this is also a 20-year transit that will completely transform humanity and the world as we know it. And then we also have on the 13th and 14th of February, which is traditionally Valentine's Day time, we have Mars conjuncting Pluto at this 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is also a time where we can expect more violence in the world and just more ruthlessness in general, criminal activity. But on a personal level, we could expect ourselves to just feel much more empowered. We can feel more that we have more willpower to push through and to push something forward. But it is important to really use temperance with this intensity at that time. And then on April 20th, we have Jupiter and Uranus conjuncting in the sign of Taurus, which is a rare event. I also cover what this has done in the past in my 2024 astrology highlights video. So I will also link that below so you can check it out if you like. But on a world scale, this is a huge, could be a very huge unexpected event. But with Jupiter involved, we would hope that it could be mostly beneficial and liberating in some way. But of course, this possibly has to do with Taurian, Uranian, and Jupiterian themes. So this leads us to agriculture, food, banking, financial currencies, and so forth. And with the ruler of this conjunction in Taurus, Venus, is currently in Aries at the time of this conjunction. And in Aries, she's actually in the Dwad that's ruled by Uranus and Saturn, which is an Aquarian Dwad, which again leads us back to the Sun and Pluto ingressing into Aquarius on the 20th of January. And that Aquarian digital energy, and Pluto, again, financial, powerful shifts. And with the Sun, with that initial ingress, I feel it really just indicates more, like a leadership kind of legislation. The 11th house, Aquarius, very much deals with legislation in regards to big financial shifts. And then, of course, we have Mars as the dispositor over Venus, the ruler, at the time of the conjunction is in Pisces, where it's more subdued emotional energy. But it moves into its own sign, Aries, on the 30th of April, which is only 10 days after this conjunction, where it can then move forward with action towards plans. And then we also want to look at what is Venus like when Venus is in Aries, as she is the ruler of this conjunction. Venus in Aries is more aggressive to what she desires. She will very impulsively move towards partnerships and alliances, and she can have us be just more aggressive with our social expression. So that can also give you more of an idea of what can be going on at this time. And then in May, we have, at the end of May, the 25th of May, we have Jupiter ingressing into Gemini. So this is very positive, I feel, as it brings a lot of tolerance between us. It strengthens community, our sense of community and compassion. It makes us more broad-minded, and it also brings in much more information and curiosity at this time, and definitely much more communication. And then this year we still have the nodes in Aries and Libra. So we are moving from the partnership dynamic with the South Node in Libra to the more to exploring the more individual dynamic of North Node in Aries, where we're more also aware of our rights and freedoms and what we want to move and initiate moving forward. This is also the axis of me and the other. This is also the axis of peace and war, love and war, which is what we are facing in the world right now, with Mars and Venus ruling the nodes. Now we will also, and actually you can think back at 2004 and up to June of 2006, the nodes would have been in Aries and Libra at that time. So you can think about connections and themes that you may have had at that time as well. Now we will have eclipses in March, April, September, and October. Now, in my opinion, the April eclipse is going to be one to watch. Of course, we have activation 6 months prior and post with eclipses, so it's not necessarily that day, but that's definitely a theme to watch. We also have our first Pisces eclipse in September, as the nodes will shift to Virgo and Pisces in February, I believe, of 2025. And we have a very fire energy this year, as we have all of our retrogrades in fire signs this year. We have Mercury retrograding in Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. And then we have Mars retrograding at the end of the year, December 6th up until February of 2025. And this Leo house has been really a big theme for you in your chart, as we had the Mercury retrograde there in August of 2024. 2023, we had Venus retrograding in Leo. And now we will have Mars retrograding there as well at the end of the year. So the Leo house is going through some transformations, definitely. And we are definitely learning about standing in our autonomy and our sovereignty with all this fire element going on. So this year I really feel like there's very much a theme of blue and red, with the Aquarian emphasis and the fire emphasis, and very much that blue and red pill, making big choices, Jupiter and Gemini, choosing sides, the duality of Gemini as well, and the mental energy of such a strong Aquarius, and then also Jupiter moving into Gemini this year. So there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of decision making, moving forwards with that North Node in Aries, initiating. And this really is a year where we have the courage to pursue our passions with conviction. And we are marking our uniqueness, our unique differences, which strengthens our communities. And it strengthens us in humanity as a whole. And through this strengthening, we allow room for creative innovation, which once again propels us forward and helps us to move upwards, upgrading more, which is also Aquarius. And this is all while we are protecting our individuality in the face of huge earth and cosmic shifts. I would also highly recommend taking good care of your lymph this year, your lymphatic system, your immune system, and also cleansing the blood regularly and detoxing. So I would highly recommend suggesting supportive herbs such as holy basil, turmeric, milk thistle, and cayenne pepper. This is not medical advice. Have a blessed 2024. Welcome, Scorpio rising. This is your 2024 astrology horoscope potentials. Pluto has been in your third house of Capricorn since 2008. Pluto usually begins by breaking down the area of life it moves through and then rebuilds it transformed and renewed and aligned with your truth. The area of life that Pluto moves through will bring power and control issues into your awareness. You will relearn and redo power and control in that area of your life. You have been passing through Pluto's complete transformation since 2008 in the area of communications, the mind, technology, schedules, appointments, language, your neighborhood, neighbors, siblings, friends, short courses, learning, commute, and getting around in general. Maybe your form of transportation has changed as well. I had a friend that had this transit, and during this transit, she actually received her driver's license. And for many, many years, she only took the bus. So she overcame her fear of driving with Pluto here. So maybe there's similar connections for you. With Pluto here for this long transit, you may have found that at times everyday conversations may have gotten heavier at times, or mentally you may have had to deal with much controlling or obsessive thoughts, possibly sexual as well, or about money or making money. Possibly you could be transforming your ideas of making money, checking out different avenues, even online for potentials. This is a period where you may have had much outside everyday events affect you internally quite strongly, changing you. Repressed psychological issues could have been triggered a lot during this time in order for you to deal with it. Some may have experienced changes in how they commute, like I mentioned, and maybe you have been dealing with more powerful people during this time. Conversations and meetings, or you may find that someone or an everyday event has a deeply emotional, impact on you, or that they activated something deeply emotional within you and how you experience things. You could have become much more curious and interested about taboo topics, or kept some of your conversations or communications more private. But Pluto here will assist with deep thinking and research. You'd be able to understand topics you may not normally would. You could struggle with OCD tendencies or being too stuck in a routine. In some cases, this can indicate criminal activity in the neighborhood, or a death, or the destruction and rebuilding of structures in your area, or where you live, or how you commute. Sometimes there can be a troublesome neighbor. By the end of Pluto's transit here, you would have possibly gone through a very intense mental overhaul, a self-questioning period, even in regards to family, such as siblings or friends in general, people in your everyday environment. Researching facts and ideas that you once held true, which may also have undermined you. You may have needed to learn to become less controlling and more flexible in order to flow more and not be as rigid and separate or callous, but to open your mind more and realize that you do not know it all. You will not take as much for granted after this transit, and your relationship with your neighbors, with your siblings, and your everyday people could have changed permanently by the end of this. The power of the mind can affect every single cell in our bodies, so let's use it wisely and positively. So if you found that you've dealt with a lot of obsessions, even if it's obsessions about how, the different ways that you could earn money, and you've spent a lot of time researching this is important to, as this can also, of course, all play out, pay off for you in the end. But it's important now to let go of any obsessive mental fixations. Now, Pluto will ingress into your fourth house of Aquarius on the 20th of January 2024 for a transit of 20 years. As it ingresses Aquarius, it will be conjoined by the Sun in a powerful conjunction. Now, in 2023, it was here in the 0 degree Aquarius point for about 3 months, March, April, May. So you can think back at that time at any connections, because that could possibly show up for you again. It will also briefly retrograde back into the last degree of Capricorn in September to finalize something in your in your third house. But this year, Pluto officially is in Aquarius, where it will begin to transform the area of home, family, parents, the past, your childhood, your private emotional inner world, and your roots. This is where you may have issues or childhood patterns and topics regarding your parents or the past come up to be dealt with on an emotional level. You may have been realizing the effect it had on you as a child, as childish behavior and old coping mechanisms can automatically come up when you are triggered. Therefore, there may be many opportunities that cause inward changes, as well as changes where you live, where you work, your relationship with your parents, women, your family, or your place of birth. You can have power struggles in this area, experience a death, a separation, a divorce, changes in who lives in your home, where you live, rebuilding or redoing your home, or changing your relationship to what home and family is, realizing what you would want for a home or as a home. There are permanent shifts taking place here now, especially with Pluto about to ingress here fully. But this is a time where healing your past and gaining more emotional self-control will allow for new growth and transformation in this area of home and heart. This is also where you can see pivotal shifts and permanent changes and transformations in your country of birth or where your ancestral roots are as well. Now, Neptune has been in your fifth house of Pisces since 2011 and will be here until 2025. Neptune here may have had you single for a while, or that you have become more idealistic and have higher standards now for who you want to date and who you want to spend time with. You may have a need now to be around people or meet a partner that has the same spiritual attunement that you do, or you may not desire a partner at this time and you would rather focus on more spiritual connected activities or creative projects. Some can get involved with music, art, or go and enjoy more entertainment activities. Some people can meet more deceptive people during this time, or you may find a partner that's cheating, or you could possibly idealize a person or believe someone can save you in some way, or you can save them. You could just be confused or unsure about a relationship or how you have fun. People you meet now could have addiction issues such as alcoholism or drugs, or this could be you struggling with addiction. This is not a good time to gamble or make unsure investments, as you may feel like you can only win, but then you lose instead. This transit can bring issues regarding children, loss of children, miscarriages, difficulty getting pregnant, difficulty with expectations regarding your children, or a child being ill, or needing counseling, or being more allergy prone or more sensitive to drugs and pharmaceuticals. If you have any older children, it can indicate an opiate or other drug or alcohol type of problem with them, or that they may be unemployed, or that they may be unsure of their direction in life. It's also important to not idealize your children now or allow manipulation here. Be more cautious regarding more being unrealistic in relationships of all kinds, or it may keep you single through self-sabotaging behavior. If you are in a committed relationship, this can be a time where you can actively try to do more creative and artistic endeavors, to be more romantic, to spice things up with this transit here. But I would also pay attention to any deception that could be lurking. Uranus has been in your 7th house of Taurus since 2018 and will be until 2026. You may have been experiencing much changes, genius ideas, innovation, and solutions, and even unusual occurrences in this area regarding your close one-on-one relationships, business partnerships, consultations, and open enemies, the public. This can be a difficult transit in a marriage or in a committed relationship. It can usually indicate a divorce or separation during this transit, or the need for more freedom or space in some way. A partner can start to display mannerisms that they would rather be alone, but not be able to necessarily come right out and say it. If the partnership, whether it's love or business, or whether it's a lawyer that you're consulting, or any therapist or anyone, is sound and strong, then this will not end the relationship, but it will need changes and new inspiration and more freedom. It can indicate relocation, that is to an unusual place or in an unusual manner, or is sudden and unexpected. In some cases, a partner can look for an affair or an activity with someone outside the relationship in order to bring excitement into their lives and escape the daily grind. Love affairs are very possible with this. Open conflicts and sudden events in public can be more common. This transit can bring in disruptive legal matters. Uranus here can indicate that you need to upgrade and change this area of your life. If you resist the changes that are necessary, you can make it more disruptive than it needs to be. Sometimes this can indicate violence or abuse or accidents, epilepsy regarding a partner. Uranus would like you to let go here. If you love them, let them go. If they are yours, they will stay. Don't fight the change. Change things up if you want to give it the best shot. Experiment. Allow what is to stay, and what is to go, to go. Trust the timing of your life, as God doesn't make mistakes, and allow those that want to leave your life to leave your life. You don't want to hold on to things that are supposed to leave, because even in the moment it can feel very upsetting. You will know why it had to happen, and there will be blessings that come to replace that. But the blessings cannot come in until the old has to go. So don't hold on to things here if they are pushing to go. This can in some cases also indicate a change in, for example, say you've always been someone that's, heterosexual. This can change then with Uranus here. Some people can completely change, who, what, and their tastes in relationships, as well as what sex they're interested in now, or maybe, but there can be quite drastic changes in your orientation, your sexual orientation, with Uranus here. Now, Saturn has been in Pisces from March 2023 in your 5th house and will be here until March of 2025. Saturn here heightens personal detachment and can give you a more objective approach to relationships as well as creativity. You can feel either rejected or accepted by others. You can meet someone older or wiser or more sophisticated and begin a relationship that lasts a long time. Or you can meet someone and take a long time before you fall in love. Saturn can indicate an age gap either way, or you can meet someone online and love them from a distance, or you can be separated in some way. This is a time where you learn how to express yourself, how to voice your views. You may work on something now that you must do in a more organized manner. Your children can become more of a responsibility at this time, or a child could be separated from you in some way, or become ill, or you could become a parent. In some cases, you can go through an emotional experience that promotes a maturation stage. It's not a good time to go gambling with Saturn here. Use your free time more disciplined, and you may find you are reading books that you learn from or that include your beliefs in some way. You will not be as interested in numbing the mind and more interested in not wasting your time watching a documentary rather than a fictional movie. Watching a how-to video rather than just blindly scrolling through a feed. It can indicate a time that it's harder for you to relax and have fun, as there's more serious things that you want to incorporate into your life now, or that's just part of your life, period. There's just too much responsibilities and not enough time for fun or creativity right now. Or it's harder for you to express yourself or perform in, say, a sport. You may not be able to physically touch your partner, but for most, you could be working on something for a bit now that you are building from the ground up. An idea that's your own creative baby, so to speak, a hobby that turns into a business, or taking love to the next level. This could be a love affair or a new love interest that now, as Saturn ingresses here, is taking on a more serious tone. You can give a lot of effort and form to something that you want to establish and create from the ground up. And in some cases, this can also be a child that is maturing and growing up, and maybe even just leaving the home and leaving your sphere of influence. Now, Jupiter has been in your 7th house as of May 2023 and will be here in Taurus until the 25th of May 2024. Now, Jupiter here can indicate intimate encounters that can expand your view of the world, or meeting someone that is from a foreign place or speaks a different language or is educated or very fun and joyous or religious or spiritual in some way. This person will light you up. They can also indicate being received by others in a good way, receiving compliments or receiving help from others, favors, blessings. In some cases, this can indicate getting in touch with a lawyer or beginning a lawsuit, starting a new relationship or business partnership, or becoming more compassionate. In some cases, it can indicate a religious issue or a topic that plays an important role in the relationship. The relationship and business experiences you have now, especially one-on-one, is expanding your view and perspectives on life. It could even bring you more in touch with your faith and your beliefs. And you are growing and learning through every relationship now. Be more careful of being used and being taken advantage of, though. And do not lose yourself in leaping too fast. Now, Jupiter also rules your 5th house, where Saturn is. So this could tie into that for some people, where there could be a relationship that is starting to become more serious now. Now, on the 25th of May, 2024, Jupiter will ingress Gemini, your 8th house, for a year. So you can also think back about 12 years ago, as this is where Jupiter was back then. and you may find similar connections or themes with this transit. Jupiter here can indicate inheritance or a death that brings relief in some way, the death of a partner or a parent. It's usually, if it is connected to a death, it's usually because the person suffered and there's a release. So even though it's a sad event, it's a relief in the sense that this person is not suffering anymore, or somehow the responsibility is taken off of your back somehow. And even though it's sad, there is a sense of relief that it's over. Of course, other transits would need to support this. This can, in other cases, be a divorce or some other kind of disconnect that is quite emotional and very, very deeply, profoundly affecting you, but there's a relief connected to it, and maybe even some financial benefit. Therefore, but of course, there has to be other transits that support this. This is not just one transit that can make this a thing. Therefore, it's very rare. It would be important to be cautious financially, to not make debt at this time, but to also not be taken for granted by others, including topics such as freeloaders, unsound causes that ask for donations, or connecting with criminals or people and groups that seem spiritual but has no actual spiritual depth and integrity. Jupiter here can indicate benefiting from others financially in some way, or through other beneficial experiences such as travel or adventures that allow for deeply transformative experiences. Your sexual drive can increase now, and your need for truth and trust and intimacy can be expanding. You could have profound spiritual realizations at this time. This can, in most cases, be a good time to pool resources or start a business partnership. You can receive more help from others during this transit, financially, but also emotionally. You can experience opportunities that trigger deep emotional responses from previous trauma that can now be brought up in order for you to heal. There can be children that go through deeply emotional trauma at this time that you also may need to deal with. Your life will be enriched in the long run from what you go through now, and you will have a deeper understanding of yourself and your relationships with others, including your children and the past. It will be a spiritual regeneration of sorts. This can also be the effects you see for your partner or a spouse or a partner's finances. Growth financially or spiritually in some way. In some cases, this can indicate giving birth, ultimately a death and a rebirth in this area of your life that is ultimately liberating. On the 20th of April, 2024, Jupiter and Uranus will conjunct in Taurus. Now, this is major. You can listen to my video on the 2024 astrology highlights, the mundane forecast for the collective. If you click on the link in the description box below, I discuss more how this can affect the world in positive and negative ways. But this is before Jupiter enters your 8th house of Gemini. So this is while Jupiter is still in your 7th house of relationships. And this, for some people, this can be a wonderful time for growth, for sudden opportunities, maybe, that enhances freedom and evolution in some way. So this could be a freedom from a relationship that you've, been wanting to leave for some time, or it could be freedom from some aspect of the relationship that's now finished, and there's more creative room in this space. There's reconnection in this space, or new discoveries and innovation regarding Taurian and Uranian, and also international foreign themes. Now, this is in your seventh house of relationships, the public, open enemies, one-on-one relationships in business or personal, consultants, lawyers, lawsuits, balance, fairness, the opposition, your spouse or lover, or any contracts and agreements. This could also be the release of some kind of contract or agreement that's quite liberating in some way. Now, on the 4th of January, Mars will ingress your third house of Capricorn, where you can experience emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve family, friends, neighbors, or siblings. You could be more busy doing paperwork, overthinking, or making decisions, taking a new learning course, actively learning more, or teaching, or even dealing with new technology or technological issues. More everyday busyness with appointments and schedules. You could have more topics like your vehicle condition, your commute to work, and your surrounding neighborhood come up now. There is more possibility for arguments with neighbors, or there may just be more construction in your area, or maybe you're helping a neighbor or working on mending a fence between you. There can be more emotional conversation connected to your mother, or your home, or family, friends, or siblings in some way. Some could be working on a speech or have more activity connected to social media or even arguments there, debating. Be more cautious driving, as you can be more accident prone and more impulsive, so think before you speak, as this transit can have you using harsh words due to the more emotional mental stimulation at this time. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Now, on February 13th, Mars will ingress Aquarius, your fourth house, where you can experience extreme emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve a family member or a parent. Past subconscious feelings can come up now almost explosively. Memories. You can spend time moving or working from or on your home. There can be more fighting at home or a sense of wanting to live alone. It can feel as if someone's trying to block you in some way, or maybe even that you're blocking yourself. This is a time where it's easier for you or a parent to get injured at home or to have something break in the home. Be careful of fires and knives in the kitchen. Try to be more compromising where you can, and avoid being overly bossy and demanding. But again, this can also just be a time where you're working on your home. Or even purchasing a home or moving into a new home. Now, on the 22nd of March, Mars will ingress Pisces, your fifth house, which can enhance leadership ability. Your drive for power and control and the urge to succeed can increase. You could be more sexual now, more expressive, partake in sport of some kind or martial arts. You could start your own business or move your creative hobbies into more of a serious side hustle. This is also a time where there can be more conflict involving a child or arguments with a lover or a child, and also the possibilities of accidents with them. They could be going through hormonal developments at this time. It's also more possible to be more nitpicky with children or your own creative work, but you will be much more attentive to detail now and crossing those T's. In some cases, there can be arguments with a lover as well. Avoid being too judgmental and remind children to be more safe, as they can be more accident prone now. There is also more possibility now for getting pregnant, so if you do not want this, wrap it up. But there is a strong likelihood that you could meet someone now, a new relationship could start, a new sexual relationship, or there's an opportunity to work on your love relationship in order for you to take action and just have more fun together. Now, on April 30th, Mars will ingress into Aries, and this is your sixth house of health. and can bring arguments and discord in close one-on-one connections. You can experience more selfishness and competitiveness in your day-to-day work routines with colleagues. You can use this time, though, to work on the relationship, to work on a project together while working on the relationship and your communication with others and your coworkers. But it may be better to rather just tackle projects now that you can work on by yourself if possible. There's ability of starting a new sexual relationship at work. There can also just be more friction at work in general. There is also the indication of accidents or working with machinery that needs to be taken more seriously. Just be more careful at work. This can also be the end or beginning or change in your day job or routines. You could be more prone to overworking and be more susceptible for inflammation and health topics that's connected to that in some way. It may be better to try an alternative health option now. If you overwork and you do not create balance in your day-to-day, the stress can manifest in your physical body. And you can maybe experience headaches and intense inflammation or very acute things that sort of pop up acutely. So it's important to take better care of your health, exercise, try a new workout routine that's more mind, body, soul, and holistic. Stay away from sugar and think before you act or operate machinery. Stand up for yourself if you need to, and don't be your own enemy. On the 9th of June, Mars will ingress Taurus, your 7th house. Mars here gives more purposeful drive, determined and courageous action, and a more of a do or die energy, and can bring arguments and discord in close one-on-one connections, as well as spousal relations. You can experience more selfishness or competitiveness here, conflict, or you can use this time to work on the relationship or on a project together in order to improve the relationship or at least the communication with each other. And you can really get to know each other better this way, especially if it's a new relationship. In some cases, you can break up. In others, you can start a new relationship now that is more physical. In some cases, this can indicate legal action or the beginning of a lawsuit. Regardless, this tendency to act against one's own best interest can rear its head. So take better care of your health and think before you act, as well as think before you operate any machinery. Balance in relationships can also come up at that time. Now, on the 20th of July, Mars will ingress into Gemini, your 8th house of transformation. Now, this is where you could be dealing with more topics of other people's money, working with it, or taking out a loan, or arguing about joint resources. This could indicate investing into something or starting a new partnership or ending one. You know, if you've had a divorce, maybe you are sorting out the finances, splitting it up between you, or maybe you're getting married and you're opening joint accounts. But there's active energy here. This could also indicate sex or intimacy that's profound and life-changing for you. This could be an investment in something new, or maybe a property, or a traumatic accident or event or person that completely changes your life or the way that you've perceived it. It can be a pregnancy, a birth, or a surgery. It can also be an abortion or the death of someone, or the death and rebirth of something very emotional in this area. This can sometimes even just be an ending or a change in your partner's income as well. On the 4th of September, Mars will ingress into Cancer, your 9th house, and here you could have been dealing with or Here you would be dealing most likely with more intellectual work, or you may have to defend your beliefs more. You may want to share your views with the world, or travel, or work abroad, or publish something, or study something deeper, or you may be finishing your studies of something, getting your degree, or starting a business with imports or exports, or you could be taking a trip, maybe it involves work. Make sure that you also check with an astrologer if you are going to be traveling with Mars here, at that time, as you can be more accident prone. So we'd want to have to see if this is a good time for you to travel. There may be more interest and research into the deeper meanings of life, life after death, philosophy. You may preach, or for some, this can indicate legal issues as well. This can involve accidents abroad, or actions involving your in-laws or your father, a teacher, a foreigner, a mentor of some kind. Your beliefs or faith can come in quite strongly here. Now, on the 3rd of November, Mars will ingress into Leo, your 10th house of career, where it will also retrograde in December. And this is where you can work hard on something that you're passionate about, or where you may want to work hard because you identify with it so much. Mars here can sometimes indicate an independent project, or working on something by yourself or for yourself. There can be more possibility of tension or stress in the workplace with a boss, or in a group dynamic with Mars here. It can cause more conflict in some cases between co-workers as well as the public. Some can decide now to quit, or to change jobs or positions, or to rather work for themselves, as it can feel as if your efforts can be put down by others. Emotional instability can appear now, or emotional outbursts. You can find you're naturally more selfish at this time, or having to be that way in order for you to get ahead or to get something finished. It's important now to be more cooperative if possible, and to learn from any criticism you're receiving. You can make huge progress here if you avoid engaging in the opposition and allow it to fuel your determination to get it done. It's better to just keep your mouth shut and just get the authority on your side and get your job done, even if you just do it for yourself. For some, Mars here can have your work go viral or public in some way, or your reputation can be affected in some way, or you may end a partnership, or leave a marriage, or meet someone new, maybe even at work. Either way, this transit can affect all areas of your life, as it's angular. Conflicts between home and career, partners, and your physical health, and your approach to life. This transit will keep you busy, but you will be able to get much done. You're more accident prone with this transit, so think again before you speak, drive, do all of that. Take better care of your health, as you're very busy at this time. This can also affect a parent. Now, let's have a look at the retrogrades. I'll only be covering the personal planets in this summary. Also in regards to eclipses and other major aspects, as I'll be covering them throughout the year. In the past, I used to, as I would go through the Mars transits, I would also incorporate the oppositions and squares and so forth that Mars would be doing to some of the malefic planets. But I feel that people tend to find it's just too much information all at once. So I prefer now to sort of deal with those aspects as the year unfolds. But this still gives you the general vibe of your energy and where you're putting it throughout the year. Now, Mercury will retrograde in all fire signs this year: Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries, and also partly in Virgo as it moves into Leo. So Mercury will retrograde in your 6th house of Aries from the 1st to the 25th of April, from 27 degrees Aries to 15 degrees Aries. And this is a period where you can really revamp your workspace, your office, organize your diary, your calendar, get more prioritized with your to-do list, adjust your routines, and really reestablish what your colleagues or your coworkers need from you, or where can you improve, where can you be more efficient. It's a great time to really make sure your communication with others in your workspace is clear and concise, as there can be very many mistakes or misinterpretations or lost emails, or people misunderstanding you, or you them, and then maybe you then proceed your work in the wrong way in some way. So ensure everyone's on the same page. You may find your schedules disrupted a lot. Mercury retrograde here really calls for flexibility. It's also a time to really look at where you've been too scheduled, too rigid, maybe where you can be more flexible in general. And this may allow you to see, oh, I can change this around and it still gives me good results. Or maybe I want to do it this way now because, I never tried it this way, but this Mercury retrograde forced me to do things from a different angle or to look at it from a different view. And now I'm finding that this is actually a better way. It's more efficient, so I'm going to change it around. And it's a fresh bit of fresh air. It freshens things up. It doesn't make things so monotonous and predictable. You can even brighten up your space with a new plant to just bring some fresh air into this space. But it also deals with health issues in this house. So you may be considering to take a personal inventory, delve into your health concerns. If there's no severe consequences for delaying action, it's advisable to seek a second opinion if there is any issues while Mercury is direct. So you don't want to proceed with any treatments if you can wait till Mercury's direct, unless it's absolutely necessary. Test results can be inconclusive with Mercury retrograde here. So it's more advisable to postpone new diets or new exercise routines, or right off the bat. But this is a great time to sort of research the issues you're dealing with. Interviewing different holistic health practitioners and seeing what road is the better one for you to take in regards to your health journey. What foods are you eating? What are they doing for you? Gather nutritional information, that type of thing, and see, do your research during this time. Also with work projects that you're dealing with, it's a great time to revise things, to go over things, to proofread things, and you may find that you repeat a lot of things during this time. But then once Mercury goes direct, you're going to be way more ready, you're going to be way more fine-tuned and way more informed. Now, Mercury will retrograde in your 10th house and 11th house of Virgo and Leo from the 5th to the 28th of August, from 4 degrees Virgo to 21 degrees Virgo. Now, while in your 11th house of Virgo, it can be a time to catch up with old friends, or they can bump into you unexpectedly. On the other hand, you may sort of retreat from the social scene for a bit. This can be by your choice or just by circumstance. It may be a time that you need to sort of rediscover who you are by yourself again, away from others. Where have you been too influenced by others? This can also be a time where you just want to sort of get off of social media for a while, or retreat from technology for a while. There can be more misunderstandings with friends or with colleagues, and also with groups and affiliations that you're associated with. You may be rethinking your political views, or which groups you belong to, your peers. There can also be gossip and rumor with this Mercury retrograde here. It's important to not speak badly of others during this transit, as it can bite you in the butt. It could, however, be a time to weed out connections that no longer serve you. You know, where are you affiliated, or part of a group, or part of a team, or that you realize is not for you anymore. And it's also a time where you'll notice that you cannot control what others do or how others see the future or any of that. You can really be recapturing what you are dreaming about for your future, really rethinking your goals and how you're going to proceed moving forwards. This can also be a time where you're maybe repeating an exam in order to get your master's, or repeating an exam, or restudying, or going over, a thesis, or going over something, reapplying for some kind of certification, and so forth. But after this transit, you will be much more clear on how you want to move forwards. In some cases, this is even just relearning new technology, and how that can be facilitated and used in a better way for yourself in some way. Now, while in your 10th house of Leo, you may encounter more work-related challenges. You can have misunderstandings with authority figures or with other colleagues, or you can experience setbacks that impact your public image or your reputation in some way. So it can be time to really reconsider and evaluate your direction in life, your title. This can be a good time to identify areas where you want to make changes or adjustments. This is also, in your work in general, your career, also in your marriage, or in your serious relationships, and just with how the public sees you. This can be a time where it can also influence parental relationships or lead to changes in a marital status or a title at work. It may not be conducive to start a new job or apply for new jobs during this time. Rather, wait till Mercury is direct, unless you are reapplying for something that you've already applied for. But it presents an opportunity to revisit things that needs to be improved, to refine your research, to meticulously review work, to complete projects that's been ongoing, to pay attention to details, to reconsider people that you're hiring. But this process really promises increased clarity and understanding in this area of life once Mercury has been through here. This is a very focused area for you this year. Now, Mercury will also retrograde in your second house of Sagittarius from the 25th of November till the 15th of December 2024. And this is from 22 degrees Sagittarius to 6 degrees Sagittarius. So this is the time to really take an assessment of what you hold dear, what holds significance for you, what is really worth your energy. Money and work dynamics can fluctuate or shift unexpectedly. This is where you really want to reflect on what genuinely matters to you in life, and where do you get your confidence from? How are you connecting your self-worth with what you earn or what your position is? Are you too materialistic? Do you feel financially secure? What's your true aspirations? What are your skills? Maybe you're reassessing how you want to earn your money. This can also be related to a spouse. This is a good time to really go over what you're spending, what you're earning, to sort of get a grip on your financial situation again, to reconsider other options, to maybe do some research on what you'd rather do or what you'd like to improve, where you'd like to cut back, where you'd like to, change things. This is a good time to go over your receipts, to look at investments, to rethink investments, major purchases, to really reassess your expenses and your earnings. And you can also really be contemplating your diet, your vocal expression, and your intimate relationships. Now, Mars will be retrograding in Leo, your 10th house, from December 6th, 2024, until the 23rd of February, 2025. Now, Mars usually represents energy, drive, and the pursuit of goals. Now, when it goes backwards, this dynamic energy turns inward, and people may find themselves doubting their wishes, aspirations, and plans. This phase invites a re-examination of the direction one is going in, allowing for a more mindful approach to reaching your goals. The backward motion reminds us that slowing down and revising our strategies can be as important as moving forward. How do you spend your time? And how much are you actually enjoying your work? Where do you need to have more fun or less fun? Topics involving children can also appear. During Mars retrograde in Leo, our actions become more spontaneous yet reflective. This period prompts us to utilize our exceptional synthesis skills, enhancing your effectiveness of your endeavors. And as a result, you'll exhibit less passion, but you'll gain composure and become more efficient in your actions in this area. Now, earlier this year, in August, Mercury retrogrades in this same house of Leo, and Venus did in 2023. So this is a house that you've been revisiting quite a bit. What have you learned? Leo deals with creativity, love affairs, loyalty, romance, children, self-employment, money, politics. It deals with gambling, taking risks. It deals with self-expression, rights and freedoms, confidence, sovereignty, and fun, and a childlike joy. But for you, this is in your 10th house, so it also adds the area of career and life direction, your title at work, or your title as single or married or engaged, your reputation, validation from others or outside sources, a parent, work, success, and authority figures. And because this is your 10th house, this can directly affect all areas of your life: your work and home, your work and family, your work and close one-on-one relationships in love or partnerships, as well as yourself, your sense of self, and how you interact with all these areas of your life: work, home, love, all of that. Now let's speak eclipses. With the nodes in Aries and Libra, the focus shifts from partnership dynamic, South Node in Libra, to an exploration of individual identity, North Node in Aries. Now, this is a call to stand up for our rights without losing our sense of self. The emphasis is on recognizing ourselves first as unique individuals as Pluto ingresses into Aquarius. It amplifies our unique differences within the context of humanity. The North Node in Aries urges us to protect our individuality in the face of these cosmic shifts. I will be covering these eclipses more in depth throughout the year. Therefore, I'll just mention them at this time. On March 25th, there will be a Libra Lunar Eclipse full moon at 5 degrees. This is an ending or culmination or a fruition of sorts, something coming into its full ripeness in your 12th house, which deals with endings, loss, solitude, separation, institutions, spirituality, psychology, the subconscious mind, subconscious control patterns, self-sabotage, addiction, and faraway places or retreats and holidays. April 8th, there will be an Aries Solar Eclipse new moon at 19 degrees. This is the eclipse to watch for the year collectively. I think it can be quite powerful. This is a new beginning or seed of intention in your 6th house of health, responsibilities, work, office space, employees, tenants, co-workers, health routines, your daily schedules, and so forth, your diet, and so forth. And also the balance it creates with your psychological health. Now, September 17th, there's a Pisces lunar eclipse, full moon at 25 degrees of Pisces. And this is the first eclipse in the Pisces-Virgo axis transition. A closing out, an ending or fullness or ripe completion in your 5th house that deals with children, new love relationships, romance, fun, creative expression, self-made business, self-employment, investments, risks, gambling, love affairs, as well as politics and self-expression. On October 2nd, there's a Libra Solar Eclipse new moon at 10 degrees. And this is a new beginning or a seed of intention by letting go of something. And this is connected to the lunar eclipse of March in your 12th house of endings, loss, solitude, separation, institutions, spirituality, psychology, addictions, subconscious control patterns, self-sabotage, faraway places, retreats, holidays, and so forth. Well, thank you for listening, Scorpio rising. You are more serious this year as your responsibilities can also separate you from children or your usual fun activities. You are redefining your career and your place in the world, how others see you, and where you would like to invest your energy going forward. Breakthroughs are possible regarding relationships and finances, and a focus on balancing work and play, taking better care of your health on all levels. You can also check out my consultations and offerings on my website, which includes Wild Apothecary. I also have the link to my 2024 Astrology Mundane Highlights video below. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May 2024 be filled with blessings coming your way. Until next time, please like and subscribe and share where you can.